Well, hey there, it's David. Welcome back to Cross Fitness, helping men and women get in the best spiritual shape of their lives, one workout at a time. Quick thought in this video that I'm calling the seven faces of Jesus. The seven faces of Jesus. So let's do a little Old Testament, New Testament survey here really quick about the face of Jesus. The first face I want to talk to you about, I'm calling the unknown face. This is in the Old Testament. This is the eternal God, Jesus, the Son of God, in his pre-incarnate state before he was born of the Virgin Mary. We see him in the scriptures appearing, in the burning bush. We see him wrestling with Jacob at Peniel, and we see him, manifest many times. These are called Christophanies before he was born. God is spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So he was able to take on this natural form, and so we don't know what he looked like in that period. So I call that the unknown face. Secondly, the second face of Jesus is the ordinary face. Where in Isaiah 52-ish, around there, it says that the Messiah, prophesying of Jesus, that he's an ordinary looking guy who wasn't anything special or spectacular physically as it had to pertain to his physical appearance. People were drawn to him by revelation, not by inspiration of his looks. And so he's just an ordinary guy as far as his appearance was concerned. Face number 3 is, I'm calling this the disfigured face of Jesus. And we're in Isaiah 53, where he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of his peace was upon us, and by his stripes we're healed. They pulled his beard out. It just graphically describes he was not only beat so bad that you couldn't tell who he was, but you couldn't tell what he was. More than any other man, as there's some demonic things going on there, as Roman lictors and Pharisees and others were smacking him and beating him, and it was terrible. I call that the disfigured face of Jesus. The next face is face number 4 is, I call that the hidden face of Jesus, because after his resurrection, on resurrection, the first Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, he encountered Mary Magdalene, and she had walked with him, and it was part of the discipleship troop, and yet she didn't recognize him because his face was hidden from him. We see the same thing with the two disciples on the road to Emmaus. Jesus joins them, and they don't recognize him as the risen Christ. And so I call this the hidden face. For his purposes, he hid his appearance. And only by revelation again, when Jesus called Mary's name, she said, "Rabbi." And when the two boys on the road to Emmaus broke bread with Jesus, he opened their eyes and began to recognize, hey, this was the Lord. He disappeared. And they said, hey, that was Jesus, who had opened the scriptures from Moses forward to reveal himself to them. The fifth face is what I'm calling the familiar face of Jesus. Okay? So we have the unknown face, face number 1, the unknown face. Number 2, the disfigured face. Number 3, the hidden face. Number 4, the familiar face. And this is when, after his resurrection, he appears to his disciples. He goes through the wall and, hey, they know it's Jesus, and Thomas, he appears another time, and he's recognizable. And Thomas says, unless I put my finger in your side and in your hands, I won't believe it's you. Well, it's me. And so there's that also in John 21. He's on there fishing, and he appears and has fish broiling there. So it's a familiar face. And then the sixth type of face of Jesus, I'm calling the glorified face. Okay, this is Revelation chapter 1, where his hair is white like wool, and his eyes are like flames of fire, and his voice is like the sound of many waters. Okay, he's in the glorified state, right? And read about him in Revelation chapter 1. His face is just resplendent with glory. Okay, and then finally, face number 7 of Jesus is what I call the kingly face. Revelation 19, he's on a white horse, and he's coming back at the Battle of Armageddon, and he wears a robe dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God. And on his robe and on his thigh, it's written King of Kings and Lord of Lords. This is Almighty Jesus himself coming back at the second coming of Christ. And so we have these 7 faces. I just thought it was interesting, and something to think about that maybe you haven't thought about before. The unknown face, the disfigured face, the hidden face, the familiar face, uh, the glorified face of Jesus, and then the kingly face of Jesus. I think I might have missed one, but anyway, there's 7 in there. And so something to think about. And I hope that encourages you a little bit as we dig into our Bible from Genesis to Revelation. We just see different manifestations of the face of Jesus. I thought it was interesting enough to share with you today. So hope you enjoy it. For now, I'm David, your virtual mentor, reminding you that I'm always for you, never against you.